How many times have Republicans won each state for president since 1960? That's what we're going to find out today. We've already done the same thing for the Dems. Today it's for the GOP. It's almost the inverse of the previous video, but not quite. So we're going back to 1960 because that's the first time all 50 states were voting in presidential elections. So there's a maximum of 17 elections here. DC got its electoral votes starting in 64. So we've actually got 17 tiers of red shading this time. So we're going to start with the least and go up to the most. And if a mistake happens to slip through, let me know down below in the comments. There is a lot of data here, but we're going to go quick. The easiest one to start with is 0 times. That's not even a state, it's Washington, D.C. They haven't even gotten close to electing a Republican for president. So let's get into the actual states. First, we've got 1 time. In these 6+ decades, there's just 1 state, and it's Minnesota. They supported Nixon in his landslide win in 72, but nothing since. That's the longest presidential drought for the Republicans. Let's go up to 2 times. We've got 3 states here. First is Hawaii. It's a pretty blue state, but they did vote for Nixon in 72 and Reagan in his landslide win in 84. It's exactly the same in Rhode Island. The other state that did it 2 times was Massachusetts, but they supported Reagan in 80 and 84. They did not support Nixon in 72. Up to 3 times, we've got Maryland. They supported the Republicans in 72, 84, and 88. And New York, they went red in 72, 80, and 84. So a little bit different combination there. Next, for 4 times, we don't have any states here, so we're going to go up to 5 times. The first state here is on the East Coast. It's Connecticut. All 5 elections they went Republican were consecutively from 1972 to 88. Then we've got Delaware. They almost did the same thing as Connecticut, but they did not support Gerald Ford in 76. Instead, they voted for Carter, and in exchange for that, they did support Richard Nixon in 68 over Hubert Humphrey. One more state here. It's in the Northwest. It's Washington. They last went Republican way back in 1984. Now we'll go up to 6 times. We'll start in Illinois. They last went red in 88. Then it's the same thing if we go to the Northeast in Maine. And we can also check off New Jersey. And back to the West Coast, another state here is Oregon. Of the 6 times, they went for the Republicans. The last time was in 84. One more state in this tier. We're going to go into the Rust Belt and plug in the purple state of Pennsylvania. That's it for those states. Let's go up to the states that have done it 7 times since 1960. First, it's California. They last voted for George H.W. Bush in 1988. Then back into the Rust Belt, it's Michigan. After that, we'll head into the Southwest in New Mexico. This state last supported Republican George W. Bush in 2004. In the Northeast, it's Vermont. They used to be a pretty red state, but they haven't done so since 1988. And finally, the last Rust Belt state here is Wisconsin. Next, let's see how many states voted 8 times for the Republicans. Well, it's just 1 state this time. It's in the Northeast. It's New Hampshire. Most of the Republican support here comes before the 90s. The last time they went red was in 2000 with Bush. Next, we've got a couple of states that voted 9 times for the Republicans since 1960. First is the purple state of Nevada. Then the other state is a solid red state. It's West Virginia. They last voted blue in 1996, but before that, it was not unusual. Next up, we're hitting double digits. The states that voted Republican 10 times since 1960 are Colorado, last doing so in 2004. And also, the other state here is Iowa. They went blue not that long ago, back in 2012 with Obama. Let's go up to the next tier. We've got 11 times. First is Arkansas. Then we've also got Georgia. Now, those 2 states actually supported George Wallace in 68, so that's 1 election that neither side gets to claim. Couple more states in this tier. It's Ohio. And we'll finish it up here in Virginia. They used to be red, but it's been a while. They haven't done it since 2004. Up to the next tier. It's 12 times. We've got Florida. Then after that, we've got Louisiana, which also supported Wallace in 68. And one more state here, the former bellwether of Missouri. Next, these states are getting redder and redder 13 times. We've got Kentucky, North Carolina, Tennessee, and finally Texas. They've been voting Republican since 1980. Up to the next tier, 14 times. We've got 2 states in the South. It's Alabama and Mississippi. Both of them also supported George Wallace in 68. And in 1960, they technically had unpledged electors for a candidate other than the 2 major political parties. That was Kennedy and Nixon. So it's a little tricky, but because of that, both sides lose out on 2 elections for both of these states. But after that, we'll go up to 15 times. First is a modern purple state. It's Arizona. The only two times they did not go red were 96 with Bill Clinton and 2020 with Joe Biden. Another state here is Indiana. They went blue in two totally different years. They've got 1964 with Lyndon Johnson and 2008 with Barack Obama. We've also got Montana. They went red in every election except 64 and 92. And the last one in this tier is South Carolina. The two times they went blue were 1960 with Kennedy and 76 with Carter. So now we can head up to the absolute top tier. 16 out of 17 times supporting the Republicans since 1960. It's all the remaining states. That's Alaska, Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, and Oklahoma. They got swept up in the Lyndon Johnson landslide at 64, but ever since then, that's it. The Dems have come up short here. Those are the longest active presidential droughts out of any state for both sides. For the Republicans, it's in Minnesota, but the Dems have a bunch more states. And that's how the map looks. Tons of red on here, but it gets a little bit lighter when you head out to either of the coasts and some of the states in the Midwest, especially up in Minnesota. There's a few surprises along the way when you go back over 60 years. Some of these states are modern Republican voters. Others used to do it in the past, like Vermont. And some have become current purple states, like Arizona or Georgia. You never know which states are going to snap their streaks next. But this is how the map looks for how many times the Republicans won each state for president, going way back to 1960. So let me know in the comments. What do you think about any of the data on this map? Which couple of states surprised you the most? How about Minnesota? Do you think that streak is ever going to end? Is it surprising that a state like Maryland has voted Republican more often than Minnesota? And what about the solid red states? Are they going to vote blue anytime soon? Let me know what you think down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.